Okay, welcome back to Elder Scrolls Online. We're sitting on top here in the watchtower, enjoying the views. I think it's about sunset, thereabouts, or early in the late in the evening, right before night. Okay, so let's go ahead and take on the Clockwork City. First, let's get some mail. Give me a second here. Okay, now that we've done that, let's go into our collections. Stories, DLC, and there it is. Clockwork City should be right here. So, reports of mysterious shadow assassins draw you into Sotha Sil's Clockwork City to investigate a new Daedric threat. Uncover the secrets of this strange new zone, take on a new 12-player trial, earn powerful new armor sets and items, and more. Quest available. The famed wizard, Fear, has put out a call for aid in seeking a powerful Daedric artifact. You can find him in Mournhold. Okay, let's accept the quest. Who is this?
My master waits for you in the Mournhold Temple. A word of advice. Don't keep him waiting for long.
Who is Fear, or Devaith, however you pronounce that?
Only the most powerful mage in Tamriel. Lord Fear has walked the roads of Nirn for millennia, plumbing the deepest mysteries of the Orbis. He strides between Mundus and Oblivion with ease. Daedric princes tremble at the mere mention of his name.
If he's that powerful, why does he need me?
It's not my place to question his decisions. He ordered me to find you, and I obeyed. Lord Fear values diverse perspectives, but he has few mortal peers, so he often breaks bread with unusual people. Perhaps you strike him as unusual.
Okay, into the portal we go. Let's find the quest. Where is he?
Ah, you've arrived at last. Come forward. We have much to discuss. You've arrived. I am Fear, Wizard Lord of Telfear. I trust no further introduction is necessary? I seek a Daedric artifact. It lies hidden in a brass city filled with danger, curiosity, and contradiction. You will accompany me, if you wish.
So what exactly would I be signing up for?
A voyage that only a few have ever undertaken. We will travel to Sotha Sil's peculiar experiment, the Clockwork City. I have inquiries to make. You will assist me.
So you know how to reach the Clockwork City?
I do. The Tribunes are not so clever that they could hide such a place from me for long. The city is quite close, and also very far away. Just the first of Sotha Sil's many paradoxes. If you choose to join me, be prepared for many more.
So why are you asking me to help you?
I have no great fondness for that Psijic Lilatha, but you saved her life and defeated a powerful shadow mage in the process. A remarkable accomplishment for someone of your breeding. I'm confident you will continue to surprise me.
Arrogant fool. Alright, I'll work with you.
Of course you will. Naturally you have questions. Alas, they will have to wait. Servants of the Tribunal do not look kindly on blasphemous journeys like this one. Meet me at the waterfall north of the city. We can discuss the details there. Prepare if you must, but make it quick. Time is not on our side.
I think you're the one actually who needs to do preparing. So I'm excited to see this Clockwork City. I think we will have to shrink down to size to enter it.
There you are! Come! Here, behind the waterfall!
Okay, I think it's under here.
My companion arrives at last. Now then, our journey begins in this dreary little cave. Quite a surprise, yes? Believe me, it won't be the last. We can speak freely here, but do make it brief. All this natural splendor is just tedious.
I have just one question. Why did Sotha Sil hide the Clockwork City here?
Sotha Sil hides everything. But more to your point, it's not just a city. It's an incomprehensibly powerful, world-shaping device. Can't leave that sort of thing lying about, can you? Also, Almalexia worries about how it reflects on her divinity.
What about Almalexia?
Yes, Sil's fellow tribune. A machine can be studied and perhaps understood in time. She fears that by reducing their divinity to a machine, Sotha Sil lessens the mystique of their godhood. To his great credit, Sil largely ignores these concerns.
So, what do you hope to find in the Clockwork City there?
A Daedric artifact. I take a keen interest in all such objects, but this one seems especially significant. You see, nearly everyone who searches for it winds up dead. I suspect that someone or something hid this artifact away in the Clockwork City.
Are you concerned about seeking an object that got other people killed?
Other people are not Dwemer fear. I've not lived this long by shying away from dangerous relics. Anyway, if this artifact inspired someone to slaughter scores of mages, it's clearly something worth investigating.
Alright, I'm not gonna ask him who Sotha Sil is, because we know full well. Let's go in. Okay, so we need to find the entrance to the Clockwork City.
Draftier than I remembered. Follow me. Welcome to the dwarven hold of Bamz-Amschend, such as it is. Ironic that AM's holy city of Mournhold has Dwemeric roots, don't you think?
So did this cave always exist, or was
no one
it...
knows this route, but this scaffolding looks new.
I'm just curious, did this cave always exist, or was it just added with the Clockwork City DLC?
Sotha Sil always did admire dwarven industry, albeit quietly. Perhaps that's why he built his city here. This lift will take us to the nethermost depths of the ruin, and to our destination. Come along. The entrance lies just ahead. Do you see, just across the ravine? That's our door.
Okay, that's how we get in there. Looks magnificent, I gotta say. I can't wait. Somebody came here before us and killed all these dwarven constructs. It wasn't us. There was something here. Ah, spoiled food. Look at it. Looks like there's the city. It's really tiny though. Just like I expected, honestly. It's really small, but let's go in. Yep, we're shrinking down to size.
What? This is not the brass fortress. Someone diverted our passage. Audacious, but foolhardy. When I find them, wait. I feel cold. Back, creature! My shadow! My power! Don't let it escape!
Let's go after it. Defeat the factotums.
Factotums! They're activating!
Where? Oh, these things.
Ready your weapons! I will assist you as best I can! Another batch! Spreading up! Destroy them!
Where are they coming from?
More! To the southeast! Make ready!
Oh, all right.
This had better be the last of them!
No, we've got that. All right.
Fetching scrap heaps. My shadow remains close. We must hurry. Swivel swords. Oh, wonderful. I'm in no condition to navigate this maze. Go. Find a way to deactivate these traps.
Of course. We'll take care of it. We need to talk to him first.
Perhaps I failed to impress the gravity of our situation upon you. If my shadow gets away, we may never escape this place. So if you have something to say, say it quickly.
Do you have any idea what sent us here?
Not yet. We should have translocated directly to the Brass Fortress, Sil's chief municipality here in the Clockwork City. But somehow we ended up here.
How do we plan to get out of here?
One step at a time, if you please. We need only to find a landmark or map or something. Once I determine where we are, it won't take long to find an exit. Just leave that to me. You focus on these traps.
Guess I gotta ask him another question.
Perhaps I failed. Yes. And perhaps something more. In removing my shadow, our attacker removed some vital part of my animus. My soul, in the common parlance. Without it, my power is severely diminished. Needless to say, this will not do.
Yeah, I've seen this before. If we kill your shadow, you will lose that power permanently.
Yes, of course. Disrupting the binding would cause my animus to disperse. An unwelcome prospect, to be sure. I might be able to reclaim the shadow, but not before we exhaust its power. So when we confront it, use restraint.
Okay. Just release this.
Well done. Killed by spinning knives is not an epitaph worthy of Dwemer fear. Now, onward. I'm eager to see what new wind-up absurdities await us.
Curious to see if these are chests. Yeah, they are. And we got a increased stamina recovery by that for 35 minutes. Okay, we'll learn the recipe. Even the crates are all mechanized. Look at the bookshelves. Realms of the Clockwork City. The Radius by Provost Varel Arvel. The magnificent and awe-inspiring creation of Lord Set is so much more than just a haven of the Father of Mysteries. Innumerable secured chambers, manufactories, laboratories, and terrariums house the objects of his experimentation to be discovered and studied by the most diligent of his devoted apostles. Within this series of volumes, I shall describe in brief some of the more well-known of Lord Set's minor realms within the Clockwork City. Know that this is far from an exhaustive list, for the breadth of the city may well be infinite within this seemingly finite space. Most familiar to denizens of the Brass Fortress is the realm known as the Radius. This stretch of fabricated wilderness stretches from the walls of the fortress out to the periphery of the Clockwork City and is home to an artificial ecology that was deemed by Lord Set to be as familiar and soothing to denizens of Tamriel as could be crafted. Primus, note the fabricant flora that spreads from the metallic soil, its bark and leaves reflecting light in perfect quantities. It is true that very little grows within the Clockwork City, limited to dedicated projects such as the Wellspring or as transient fungi brought in by itinerant and accidental visitors. It is therefore necessary that many of the creatures one will encounter in the Radius are predatory. Fabricant beasts designed to emulate the form and function of their Tamrielic counterparts, and indeed alive and constructed of an amalgam of grown flesh and metallic grafts. A wise apostle avoids the most brute and hulking of these creatures, for they require sustenance apart from that which their soul gem mattresses supply. Okay, apart from that which their soul gem mattresses supply. Secundus, behold the accumulation of shimmering lubricants that pool within the lowlands and gullies of the Radius. This slurry is a mixture of machine grease and humors and fluids of fabricant and apostle alike, and a myriad of substances churned out by the incalculable amount of factories beneath the surface. The lubricants flow and are collected in basins across the Radius to be drawn into automated cleaning facilities and pumped back into the devices that distribute them to necessary environments. Most of the lubricants in the Radius collect in the Mire Mechanica, presumably Lord Set's approximation of Tamrielic swamps. Tertius, I think that's what third, Okay. The radius is home to one of the numerous weather regulation and fluid treatment facilities in the Clockwork City. Our proximity to it ensures that we experience neither extreme heat nor cold, and that there is always sufficient clean water to ingest. Nevertheless, the delicate balance of fabricant man and mer demands that the brass fortress carefully considers population and intake requirements. Of course, the radius is only one of many realms within the Clockwork City. In our next volume, we shall touch upon some of the more unusual experiments conducted by the Father of Mysteries, as well as conjecture into the reasons for their existence. Okay, I guess the books are made of stone.
I recognize this place now. The pneumatic forge. We should leave as soon as possible. Sotha Sil.
Engine of Expression by Proctor Albicron, second innovator of the Sacred Flywheel. The Great Gear, a concept first put forth by Lord Sotha Sil and later expanded upon by his Clockwork Apostles, illustrates the idea that all of existence can be expressed as the workings of a finely tuned machine. The Great Gear represents nature's primal engine, the source of life and power that makes Nirn thrive. It isn't a literal engine. The Father of Mysteries used the metaphorical idea of a primal engine to expand upon his teachings and philosophy. The apostles that learned from Lord Set followed his example and built upon the metaphor to create a rich and expressive manner of speaking that sets them apart from other followers of the tribunal. By employing a variety of metaphors that utilize the workings of gears and pistons to express emotions, thoughts, and intentions, the apostles have developed a distinct dialect that draws upon their vocation and beliefs. Here are some of the more cherished idioms, along with the meaning for those not fluent in the movements of the Great Gear. By the Great Gear, an exclamation of wonder or surprise, although it can also be used to proclaim shock or even horror in the appropriate circumstance. Never in a million clicks of the Great Gear, an idiom for emphasizing the impossibility of a given event or describing something that is unlikely to happen. The gears just have to align in my favor. An expression of hopeful intent, favorable conditions, or the desire for everything to come together in a positive way. When the gear slips, a phrase that used to express that something isn't quite right, or a situation has become off-kilter. Clogging up the gears, an expression that means something was spoiled, usually through blundering or stupidity. Before 3 gears click into place, a phrase used to hurry things along, or to indicate that very little time has or will have passed. Caught in the gears, a statement of concern usually related to a difficult situation, a troublesome predicament, or a problem that doesn't have an easy solution. May your gears spin freely, a friendly farewell, wishing the recipient good wishes and continued success. May your pistons never clog, a phrase used to wish another person well as you send them on their way. May the Great Gear always spin in your direction, a way to wish good fortune upon a Clockwork Apostle or a close friend or associate not related to the order. Tighten the cogs, to shore up, reinforce, or make better. The Clockwork City is only as strong as its weakest cog, a phrase with a literal meaning, though the weakest cog also figuratively refers to a person or other flawed feature and not an actual cog. The Great Gear never pauses in its rotation, a phrase that assures us that time passes and the world moves on, whether we want it to or not. Spare a few more clicks of the Great Gear, a request to give someone or something your attention for a time. The Great Gear turns, so be quick, be quick. Time passes, so don't dawdle. Sometimes the Great Gear turns from frustration to opportunity, any of several similar sayings that indicate that situations can change from favorable to unfavorable, or vice versa, usually by the whims of fate. And that is the sequence of the words. Well, I noticed that now when you discover a lore book, the notification just pops up in the top right corner, and it does not obstruct the view of the book anymore. That's a very, very welcome change, because we've seen this multiple times, where we discover a lore book, and as we're trying to read it, we have to pause for a few seconds, because we're being obstructed.
Spellcraft is all I can muster, but I will aid you as best I can. Lead on.
Okay, looks like we're gonna have to fight. Factotum Expurgator. Ah. I'm loving the style of this place. They're all mechanicals. Okay, let's go in here. And what was that?
Maintaining detection status 5.
What they actually speak. Okay, there's a few more lower books. There's a few more bookshelves here, but let's keep moving because we can always read those books. They will always show up in subsequent areas. It's just that if we try to read them now, we will never move forward. We'll have plenty of time. The good thing is that books show up all over the place, so just because we did not read a book here, it doesn't mean we will not read it elsewhere. Let's do it.
At last! Defeat this monstrosity, but don't kill it. Reclaim my power. It's duplicating itself! Beware! Stand back. Time to reclaim what is mine. Maliad kepiet tehir! Devakrokad sint morad! Finally. You never know how much you miss a thing until it tries to kill you. More ridiculous machines? I've had enough of this. Come. We still have a long way to go.
I gotta say, he's an impressive mage. First person who's been able to reclaim their shadow.
Sotha Sil's brass fortress waits at the end of this road. We should go there at once. I'm keen to find out who sent us on that delightful jaunt through the new Martis.
Let's find out where the Clockwork City is. Oh, here it is. Alright, before we go any further, let's take a break. We'll be right back with more Elder Scrolls Online.